out there. I'm going to do another Photoshop tutorial for you today on how to create this kind of metally kind of texture in Photoshop CS5. Now, in case you're wondering how I did all these little bits and stuff, that's actually the font. So don't worry about it being complicated, because it's really simple and really easy to get your head around. So the first thing we need to do is go to File and go to New, and then we're going to create a new project. So the name of the project, call it what you want, but I'm just going to call mine something like effects with text. Now this isn't the right this isn't the right size, so I'm going to change this to a width of 1280 by 720. Yep, that is widescreen, high definition, 720p. It's just the way I like to work. You can obviously have any size you want. It doesn't really matter for this project. So one of the first things we want to do is alter the background, because the background can look really dodgy, and I really hate to see normal one tone colours in backgrounds. It really annoys me. I just think, look at it, and sometimes people do really good designs and they just do one tone colours and it's so boring. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to double click on this background layer here, and you see it's locked, and this will unlock it and enable us to edit the layer itself and the effects and things like that. So I'm going to call this BG for background, and there we automatically know exactly what it is and what it's doing. So if we double click again, it'll bring up this kind of effects tab. Yours might be over here or in the middle somewhere. I'm just going to keep mine in the middle for the time being. Keep it over here so we can see what we're doing. Now you want to go to gradient overlay. Click on that, it'll automatically tick it, and you'll come up and be able to select the settings. As you can see, it's laid this gradient pattern over the top. And now I'm not very keen on that. You might be keen on it. I'm not. I don't particularly like it that much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on here, and I'm going to change it to a nice dark gunmetal type grey. As you can see, it's got a really cool looking feature right here now, but I like it personally on radial gradient. Now you don't want the light to go into dark. I like it the other way around, so I'm going to reverse this and I'm going to set the scale to 150 to make it nice and cool. Now automatically you can just see it makes it kind of a 3D, like a spherical kind of look. Now I quite like that. And that's pretty much all we need to do right now on this. So on the background. So what we need to do now is click OK. That'll save the settings, and there we go. There is our background done. So the text here now. Here is the text. Change the colour before I select it in to white. I'm just going to call it, I don't know, I'll just say text. Now this font I'm using is called Base 02. Now I got it off the font. I don't know who made it, but credit to them, because I'm using it now. Now you can get this off the font. I will put the link in the description, and you can use it. And as you can see, it's got all these cool kind of particly bits and rip chunks out of it. It looks a really cool font, and it looks awesome when you put it into like metal, and it makes it look like it's corroded and looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. So we've got our text here now. And it's just a single layer of text, white, nothing special. But what we're going to do now is turn it into something that's cool. So if you double click on the text again, just as we did with the background to bring the effects up, first thing we're going to do is go to drop shadow. Now I like to put in kind of a cool drop shadow kind of effect. Now I like to keep the distance. These are my settings. You don't have to use these. It's just personal preference of working in Photoshop and what I found I like. So my distance I like is either 9 or 10 or something like that. Drags that away a bit. The spread I like to be 15. The size I like to be 10. And then, as you can see, it's got kind of a cool drop shadow there, and you can have it any direction you want. It doesn't really matter. I kind of like it like that actually. I've tried that before. And then the opacity, you can either have 75 or 100 or anything between that. I prefer 75, gives that kind of more natural effect. So Right, so we're not going to click OK yet because we haven't completed the effects. So we're going to click on the bevel and emboss, and we are going to go into, as you can see, you've got here. Now you go into the contour section, and you keep the contour straight like that. You don't want to go into these kind of ones. It looks pretty cool. It looks like some kind of mold, and this one looks like sort of jaggedy and strange. But I'm going to keep it as this. You can choose what you want, as you will. So, you know, I'm going to turn it down to 4% as the range, and it's given some depth to it already. And as you can see, it's made it more three-dimensional. It's made it kind of cool already. Okay, so now I've got that sorted, and everything's looking doody. I'm going to go into the satin section. The distance I want to be 250, and the size I want to be 0, I think. Or have I got that wrong? And I think that's white. There we go. And then that's pretty much it again, I think. Just gives that bit of depth to it again. Keep it as it is. Now, this is the important kind of metally, textury kind of like colour of it. It makes it look like metal. So you go into the gradient overlay, and it's important you get this right. If you double click this, you have all these different kind of colours that you can choose from. So you double click on that side, and that's your start colour. That's where the gradient starts and what colour it starts at. So I'm going to choose a kind of a light grey. It depends what kind of metal you're looking for. If you're looking for a dark, metallic, grungy kind of metal, then you can go darker. But personally, I'm looking for that kind of lighter, shiny kind of metal. And then you want to go into a kind of light grey, really light grey, like getting into white almost. So once you got that, click OK. I'm going to click radial again and reverse, because I think that gives kind of like light, as if some kind of light shining on it, because we've got the light round the edge here, as if it's like a spotlight kind of thing. And then you've got the light bursting from the centre of the text, which makes it give it that kind of reflection. And then you can change it to whatever angle you want. It doesn't really affect radial that much. And change the opacity or whatever you want. Put it on screen if you want to multiply. On screen, where is it there? It doesn't really do much, but I prefer it as normal. If you're working normal, it's pretty good. And then you can add all these other things if you want. An inner shadow, make it kind of dark, grungy. Let's go 10 and 2 and I don't know, 12. Never really done that before, and that's quite cool actually, giving a kind of inner shadow, gives that kind of depth to it. I don't like it that much, but you know, click OK. So there we have it. We have that kind of texty, metally kind of look. As you can see, the text really brings out the feature. I love this text. Whoever made it, credit to them, because it's a fantastic font. I really like it. I've used it in quite a few of my things on my skateboarding channel, Oxymoron, and this one here, this little tutorial. So I hope you've gone away today learning how to do the metal effects. Really simple, really easy to do, but you got great effects from it, and this can be used in anything, absolutely anything. But at the end of the day, it's cool, so I like it. So I'll see you guys next time for another tutorial on Photoshop, After Effects, or Sony Vegas. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you learnt a lot again. I'll see you next time.